Hey, welcome back to my channel. I'm Michelle Spieler. I'm a professional makeup artist. Now I'm discussing hair today. I'm not a licensed hair professional. I am a 30-year professional makeup artist. I did a lot of hair in television, but not coloring. I've never gone to hair school. I'm totally self-taught. We had to do a ton of hair for television. I have a professional hair kit, but I really don't do hair much anymore. Like you can tell, I can barely do mine. Although I'm gonna put what products that I used on my hair. I think at the end, you know what, stay to the end. I'm gonna tack on a 1-minute video on how I got my hair this sleek, because even I'm impressed with how sleek and shiny it is. So wait till the end for that 1-minute video. Okay, I'm gonna try to be quick today because this is just a bonus video that I decided to, throw in here real quick because I've had a lot of questions about my hair color. Look at that. There we go. And I want to help women with do-it-yourself hair color. Times are getting tighter. I don't know about you, but I think August is probably one of the lower income months that I've had in over 2 years. I know that prices are going up everywhere. And when I had my seasonal color analysis done in January, remember, I was blonde for 40 years. And 7 years ago or 8 years ago, my hairdresser, who was very much like kind of a hippie girl and into clean beauty, and I was into clean beauty, and she's like, hey, how about instead of doing your roots every 8 to 10 weeks, what if we just highlight you only? We can put a little toner on your hair to make it more of a beigey blonde, but what if we just do highlights only and slowly let your natural root color grow in? And then when the gray grows in, it'll blend with the blonde highlights. And I would love that idea. I love not putting color on my roots every 8 weeks because there are a lot of chemicals in hair color, obviously. So that's what started gray blending 8 years ago. And I just got further and further and further away from my warm season because I'm a warm spring. Please follow Carol Braley. She's phenomenal. I think she's the best in the business. She's been doing this a long time, but the reason I chose her, other than I took a deep dive for months on her content on TikTok and Instagram and YouTube, is she used to be a professional hairstylist, and I needed help with my hair because I knew my hair wasn't working for me anymore. It was taking me too cool. I was looking drab. I was looking old and haggard. I just didn't feel like myself. And my whole life I've been able to wear golds and bronzes and peaches, and none of that was working for me. And I was like, what is going on? And and it's a lengthy process, okay? So I can't tell you your season, and nobody should be able to guess your season super easily. You have to wrap your face with white. You have to submit photos from childhood, from teen years, young adult. She really puts a lot into it, and it's like an 8-layer checklist of what your season is. So I'm warm spring. I'm a blend of some spring, some autumn, which I love because I love spring and autumn. So it's just like I could not have picked a better season, but that meant that I needed to go warmer with hair. So I did. I went in the end of January and I became kind of a deeper, warmer blonde, but it was still feeling a little drab. I knew I could go warmer. So when I went back to my hairstylist in March, she took me, I brought all these beautiful pictures of honey blondes, like Jessica Biel and just tons of girls with like honey blonde hair. So there's a little reddish goldish in there, but very soft. Well, my hairdresser took me like this color. And I mean, I was shocked. I was legit shocked when I saw the color because it was just so red. And I came home and my daughter's like, you look exactly like Lindsay Lohan. And I'm like, I know. And after about a week, I kind of fell in love with the red, and I loved how it made my skin look lighter and brighter. My eyes look greener. Like, Lisa on here is always saying, your eyes used to be brown. Your eyes used to be brown. I followed you years ago and now they're green. And what contacts are you wearing? I promise you, I can't wear contacts. Y'all remember last summer when I was trying to wear one reader and one distance, and I hated it. I wore it a total of half a dozen times and I'm like, we're done. I hate contacts. I hate them. And so if I can't even wear them for vision, I'm certainly not going to put a colored contact in my eye. These are my eye color. I am hazel, but because I'm now copper hair, it just brings out the olive green in my eyes. And then I have this big professional light, which enhances, I guess, more of the green. And then my skin's more light peach now. And so everything brings the green out of my eyes. And my family loved this hair color better. But here's the problem. Y'all told me, y'all said, oh my gosh, red is high maintenance. I hope you're prepared for how high maintenance it was. And within a week or two, I mean, like every time I got in the shower, I could see like red, you know, going down the drain and all over my towels, and it would get really dull. So let me show you what I would start using. So I really researched hair masks. And so once a week I would do these IGK masks. I would use this like every other week to make my hair more just kind of a glossy warm because it's more gold. And then this is copper, like legit this color. And I had to be really careful with this and even do a 50-50 mixture, because anywhere that I had a blonde highlight, this would catch red. I mean like orangey coppery red. So this I had to be careful with, but dang, does this work. And IGK I think makes 10 or 12 colors, and I can highly recommend these masks. They're excellent and they get great reviews, and I've been using them since, well, this one since April and this one since February, okay? So excellent masks. I can link them here because I'm so impressed with them. But my hair color was like $400. I was in the chair for like 5 hours. And then when I went back in June, I told her I want to be honey blonde. I don't want to be red anymore. I want to be honey blonde with blonde highlights. Well, she nailed it. She did it exactly like the photos I gave her. And I went to Los Angeles, and the whole time I just felt kind of boring and drab. And I think it's because I missed this copper. I really, really missed it. So as soon as I came back, I had just spent another $500 on color and highlights and haircut. And within 2 weeks, I was back to copper myself. I just did it myself. Now, there is something called Demi permanent hair color. And that's what I want to talk about today. And I can't really tell you what to get, but I can help guide you, because I'm not a licensed hairstylist and I don't want to get you in trouble. But I'm going to let you know the mistakes that I made. I'm going to let you know the mistakes my friend Doran made. I'm going to tell you who I consulted with on a Zoom. The person who got me into Demi was a hairstylist named Rachel Corman. She started popping up on TikTok back in May, and I was obsessed with her video. They're all 10 minutes. I was obsessed with her videos, and I'm like, what's this Demi? And she would show before and after. She would show people that had, like, you know, the white growing in. I don't have that. Like, my hair grows in my natural kind of level 7 dishwater blonde hair color with maybe like some sparkles, right? And then I might have a patch of gray here and I might have a patch of gray here, but I'm really like barely 20% gray. But she would show people who literally grow like the white skunk stripe, and she puts Demi on them. Now, arguably, a lot of hairdressers don't believe that Demi is for gray coverage, but what Rachel started teaching on TikTok is, yes, it is. So there's a lot of fighting going on about how Demi can't cover gray, and then she's like, well, I've been doing it in the salon for years, and I have a business I can barely keep up with because I have so many brunettes coming to me. Now, here's the problem with if you've been coloring your own hair with permanent for years. I know a lot of women fall into the trap of using box dye. And once you use box dye, that's it. You get that dark, inky color that you can't get out of your hair. And most women, in my experience, and remember, I've been doing I've been doing makeup 30 years. I've done a lot of hair too. I've done a lot of hair for TV. I've done a lot of mature women. And the one thing I saw a lot was inky, dark box dye. And the reason is because they're probably having their gray grow in every 10 days. And no one can afford to go to a salon every 10 days, or they don't want to fuss with a salon every 10 days. So a lot of women end up doing their own hair color at home with permanent box dye, or they might use like a no ammonia permanent. But what we're learning about no ammonia permanent is instead of ammonia, they're using an ingredient called MEA that can be equally destructive to the hair. So I don't recommend non-ammonia permanent. Now there is a semi-permanent. Now semi-permanent doesn't have ammonia in it. My friend Leah uses semi-permanent. Her brunette is beautiful, really beautiful. But the Demi is more glossy. So I've done my roots, and you know, my roots are always going to be a tiny bit darker than the rest of my hair, and that's what I love. I love kind of that depth through here. But what you have to be careful with Demi is Demi has no ammonia, and some brands use a 10 developer and some brands don't. So with Redken shades, they use a special processing solution that doesn't have a developer in it. So you're not opening the hair shaft. It's more like the color's going in and coating the hair. Maybe a little gets into the hair, but it's why the hair looks so like lustrous, where you don't get that with permanent. What permanent does, especially if you're using a 20% volume, because 20% volume is supposed to be best for gray coverage. What the 20% does is, remember, our hair is like house shingles, right? We have little house shingles all stacked up, our hair, and those shingles open up. And what that 20% does, and what the ammonia does, is it goes in and it strips your natural color out and then deposits the color that you have chosen. So you've just stripped out your beautiful natural born hair color that has luster and shine and like soft color, and you're putting in a permanent. And once that's in, it's in. And it can get really dry over time. If you're brunette, it can turn very, very brassy and reddish over time. If you're a blonde, it can also get very brassy and yellowy over time. That's the nature of permanent. So the reason I wanted to do a video on Demi is because you never get that brassy hair. You never get that stripped down, dry, straw-like hair. You always remain with this beautiful sheen. And Rachel brings receipts, because Rachel is, like I told you, she's a hairstylist in Atlanta, and she specializes in brunettes. Not many people do. You hear a lot of people who specialize in blondes. A lot of people specialize in redheads. You don't meet people that specialize in brunette gray blending. She will show women who come in and get their roots done with Demi, and it's almost like you could see a little bit of sparkle here and there, but not really. Like, it really looks like natural lustrous highlights, not like silver. And when that hair starts to grow out, your natural color is so softly blended with the last Demi color you had that there's no line of demarcation. So when my roots started growing in, the first time I went red, my roots started growing in ashy with speckles of silver, which made me look even more cool. So then I'd have this cool stripe and then this red hair, and it looked terrible. So I was using permanent hair color like every 2 weeks to touch up my roots. But then you get bands, then you get the bands that grow out, and it just wasn't working for me. So now what I do is I do Demi color. I can go every 3 weeks, because now when my natural color grows out, there's no line of demarcation. It's just all really soft. And Rachel shows a lot of this on her TikTok. Unfortunately, she doesn't really show hair color on her Instagram, although you could follow her, Rachel Corman. I can also direct you to her Instagram, because you can book a Zoom with her. It's $250, so it is an initial investment, but she wants to see your natural hair color, your hair color when you were younger, pictures of color that you want. And again, if you are brunette, that's really kind of what I'm here for, is really to help women who are brunette and they don't want to do that inky dark color every 2 weeks. They want to have it more soft and natural and lustrous, okay? And so Rachel did a Zoom. I knew it was an initial payment, but if I was paying $500 at a salon every 12 weeks, it made sense to pay $250 for Rachel to get me on the right track. Now I have a recipe for me that I can do going forward, and I'm going to save a fortune because I can do my hair now myself. I even do all of this part. I even tone it and get this beautiful copper in here, and I think I did better than my professional hairstylist, because my professional hairstylist, this was rinsing out in a week. And this right here, this is like a week and a half. And I mean, this is still beautiful coppery sheen. So anyway, so here's what I did. Okay. First of all, we have to start here. And then remember, this video is to help point you and guide you in the right direction, but I can't tell you what colors to buy because I don't know. I don't know your hair. I'm not a professional. But Rachel told me to get this Malibu CPR. Now, if you have a friend who has a Cosmoprof, I think you can get this at Cosmoprof. You can get this anywhere where licensed professionals shop. But I got this online, and I got it through Walmart. And this, I mean, I bought it about 3 weeks ago. I don't know if you remember, I went to a big Charlotte Tilbury brunch, and 3 weeks ago I had done my hair color, and well, maybe it's 4 weeks now. I had done my hair color, but I did my roots. And Wella Color Charm at Sally's has a Demi permanent, but what I didn't know, and what I wish I would have researched a little more, is you have to go 2 shades lighter than your natural color, because the Wella Color Charm is dark. It's dark. I should have put an 8 in on my roots, and I did a mixture of 6 in and 7 in. And I mean, my roots they felt black. They really felt dark to me. And that's when I panicked, and that's when I brought Rachel into the mix. She's like, no problem. I want you to get this. So this is so easy to use, and there's a Facebook page that I want you to go to read more or to learn more about this. That's what I did. So it's called Malibu Hair, or I think it's Malibu Pro. It's on Facebook. They have their own page, and they sell tons of it's like natural hair color products, but this is color pigment remover. This is not a bleach. You can use this 10 times in a row, and you're never going to strip your hair. You're never going to hurt your hair. This is completely natural. It literally just lifts, it opens up the hair shaft and like lifts the pigment out of the hair shaft, but it doesn't in any way hurt your hair. And they even sell a shampoo that I highly recommend. So here's what I did. Rachel told me to follow the instructions. You mix this in a bowl with 4 ounces of warm water. And as you start to stir it, it starts to get like a glossy sheer gel. And I painted this everywhere that my roots were too dark. And I left it on for an hour. And when I washed it out with Head and Shoulders, because you have to, I didn't have their shampoo now, I know it's like called Goo Goo Gone or something. I used Head and Shoulders. You want a hair shampoo that's high acidity and really stripping, and Head and Shoulders is so bad for hair. So my husband had an old bottle. I used it, and it helps lift even more of the pigment out of the hair. So this worked. I could not believe it. It lifted all that dark pigment, and my roots were really like light and pretty again. And I was so happy. So then that same week, my friend Doran is a beautiful brunette, and she's been in the sun this summer. So she's got those ends that are kind of like a lighter brunette, but warm, but then she's got a deeper base. Well, she went in to get Wella Color Charm, Demi Permanent, and she didn't know that a 1 is black and a 10 is the lightest blonde. And she's right here in the middle at a 5. She's like a number 5 brunette, which is pretty standard color for brunettes, are usually 4s and 5s. She bought a 3 because she thought a 3 would be a lighter brown, but 3 is almost black. So she did her roots, and she is like black roots. They almost look black. They're not, they're brown, but they almost look black. And then her rest of her hair is like a really soft brunette, and she freaked. And I said, no problem, go get this, follow instructions. I even used it one time. I used it once without heat, and then I used another time with heat. And I bought one of these little bonnets, and you put it on your hair, and then this part, you know, attaches to your hair dryer. I think this was like $11 or $12. It might have even been $9, but it's like around 10, 12 bucks. I got it on Amazon. And you literally heat your head just like we used to do, you know, growing up. And that's what I did. And I found the second time I did the Malibu, for another mistake I made, I found for some reason the heat to me didn't work as well. I don't know why. But Dorn did the same thing. She put this on her roots. She left it on with heat for like 45 minutes. She said nothing washed out. It's now been a week and a half, and she still has like almost black roots. This did not work on her. Then I used this on my daughter. My daughter painted the underneath of her hair aqua. Hold on. Sorry, when the video gets too long, I have to stop it for uploading. So like this really pretty light aqua color, my daughter just painted the underneath of her hair. She's a blonde. She thought that would be fun for summer. So she's going to get her hair professionally highlighted this week, and she wants to take the blue out. I said, no problem, and let's use this. We put it on. She left it in about 40 minutes, and when she rinsed it out, nothing. She was still blue. So I'm not sure why this didn't work on my friend and why this didn't work on Gracie, but for me, it completely lifted out my inky roots, and I had my natural virgin root color again. On the Malibu page on Facebook, you will sometimes see women who, let's say they've been doing a dark brown box dye for decades, and they got that really dark inky hair, or almost like burgundy hair, and they can't get away from it because now they're stuck with this dark inky hair. They show people on the Facebook page where they might have to repeat this process 4 or 5 times. You might take a full day, you might take 2 days, but eventually you can strip all that box pigment out of your hair. These are $10 each. I bought a 4-pack this time, just in case I have any more mistakes, but the first time I bought it, I just bought it for 10 bucks. And you, like I said, it was at walmart.com, but of course they're getting it from a third party. And it comes pretty quickly. I had it within days, okay? So do your research on this, really learn how to use it. Like I said, it worked like a dream on me. I even will show you at the end of the video of my inky roots, and then how it looked after I used this and then blow dried. Even Rachel was like, oh my gosh, that's beautiful, because you could see my natural virgin hair color again, okay? So write this down, keep this in mind, this works. Just go online. I'm not going to give you a link. Okay. Now, Rachel often likes to use the Redken Shades EQ. Redken Shades EQ. They make the most beautiful brunettes. They make this beautiful red. They make beautiful blondes. I can't help if you're a blonde because I'm not a blonde anymore. But this stuff's amazing. And then you use it with their processing solution. So this is not like a level 10. It's like, I don't even know what level it is. It might be nothing, but it literally says not to use it with anything. They say do not use this with any developers, just use the processing solution. So this is a professional product only for licensed professionals. There is a company up in Canada called Cosmetic World, okay? Cosmetic World. And they send it. I mean, I placed this order about a week and a half ago, and it's here, so it can take over a week. Definitely can take over a week. But these are $15 each, and if I have to do my whole head, it does take one full bottle, but $15 with It's a 1-to-1. So if this is 2 ounces, you'll put 2 ounces of this and you'll mix it in a bowl, or you could put it in a squirt tube, whatever your, you could do a squirt tube if you want. But what's amazing is the price, $15. Like, I did all this beautiful copper. I did my whole head for $15. But if I went to the salon, it would be $500 with tip. And look, you cannot tell me, like, this, I am like beautiful color from root to tip. Like, this looks like professional hair color. I follow a lot of hairstylists all over the country. This copper red has been trending for a while. A lot of women who are blonde and light brunettes are asking for copper red, or it's called cowboy copper. It's very, very popular. It's trending. And I am telling you, you cannot tell me this does not look like salon results. I'm even shocked. I really am. It's really impressive to me how well the Redken Shades EQ works, okay? Now, here's the thing. I've only done my hair twice with Wella Color Charm, and both times it was too dark and screwed up my hair. That's why I ended up having to do this again. So, I'm done with Wella Color Charm. I will not be using it again, but you can get it at Sally's, and you do use it with a level 10. This is the level 10 Wella from Sally's, and this is the Wella Color Charm. It's Demi permanent, not permanent. And remember, you're gonna wanna go 2 shades lighter. So if you're a deep brunette, I would get a 6 in. I got 7 in, and it made my roots so dark, and my hair color is a level 7. I'm a level 7, and this was dark. I should have done an 8 in, and I didn't know. Now I know. Okay, that's what I want to warn you about. And also, when you are covering your roots, you have to have the in for gray coverage. You have to. The in is the only formula that has all 3 primary colors in it that can go into the hair and actually fill the gray. So it's very important to do an in when doing gray coverage. And you can get in with the Wella. The Redkens. I got an 8 in, and I'm probably gonna mix it with some this 07 copper, which is this all over. So I'll do the 8 in to, to really help my gray take the color, but then add some of this copper so that I have some copper all the way up to my roots, okay? So it's a song and dance. I'm not gonna say this was easy to figure out. This took about a month, and it took a lot of trial and error, and it took me screwing up my roots twice, but now I've got a great system, and now I can literally go in with, maybe 1 bottle of copper a month just to refresh and give me really glossy red, and then maybe a half a bottle for my roots, because I really don't have a lot of gray. So we're talking like $20 a month, maybe $25 a month tops, okay? So that's Cosmetic World, and they have beautiful brunettes, but for the roots, make sure you get an in your formula. And then if you want something for the rest of your brunette hair, like if you're getting kind of too warm, you can always go in with a beautiful in or an NA, which is a natural ash, and you could do an NB, which is a neutral beige. You could really do some pretty fun formulas, but again, I'm not the pro, so I can't tell you what your formula should be. You could either consult with Rachel, or you could be your own guinea pig, like what I did for myself, okay? Now, I will say, I feel like the Redken stays true to color. I really think that this is a level 7 copper, and I feel like this is a really true level 7. And I've even done 8 on my hair. I've done 8C, which is an even lighter, brighter. So I was a lighter, brighter copper in July. I was a lighter, brighter copper, but going into fall, I wanted to be just a little bit deeper. And then Rachel said maybe a few times a year I can go get a few more little baby highlights, you know, around my head, just so, you know, the copper really pops more. So that's something I will have to go to the hairdresser for. I'm not going to do my own highlights. So I will go to a hairdresser, but now I can do this year round. Okay. So I hope that helps. Again, it's really been a process, but because red is so high maintenance, I knew I had to learn to do it myself at home, and I could not be happier. Like, I literally think this looks better than when I had it done in the salon. And then if it wasn't for finding Rachel on TikTok, she goes under I Am a Hairdresser. She's fascinating. She explains at length the differences between demi and permanent, and she shows a lot of her clients. So you can see women coming in with just a little salt and pepper. You can see women coming in with the full skunk stripe. But what she always tells her clients is she wants that beautiful grow out. So if we ever had another shutdown, quarantine again, like, women would not be lost. And she can even advise them what to get and use at home in the demi world that would, you know, create a beautiful, lustrous, gradual grow out. No more line of demarcation, no more brunette hair turning auburn, because that's what a permanent does to brown hair. No more like straw flat hair. You get this lustrous shine with demi that nothing else gives. So I hope that that helps. There are a few demi videos here on YouTube, but nothing that I found comes even close to Rachel's education on TikTok. Unfortunately, she only does her videos on TikTok because she does 10-minute videos. She someday might come here to YouTube. I was trying to talk her into it, and she does have an Instagram account. Her name's Rachel Korman, Korman, and you can reach out to her on Instagram, but she does not put her demi videos on Instagram. She really keeps that on TikTok, but she was so helpful to me, and she will hold your hand. And I send her emails all the time. I showed her my new recipe. She could not believe how gorgeous this turned out. And she said, you know, next time you do your roots, make sure you send me those pictures, because she knows that we haven't quite perfected the root. I have one more shot in a couple weeks to see how the Redken does on my hair, because I've always done the Wella Color Charm. The Wella Color Charm, I don't love. It goes way too dark. I wish I had known that, because I would have stuck with 8s, and I'm a level 7. I would have stuck with 8s. My friend Doran should have done a 5, but she did a 3, and now she's got black roots. So you see what I'm saying? Go lighter than you think. But if you need to get that decades of box dye out of your hair, there's nothing that works better than that Malibu CPR, and it leaves your hair feeling really soft. Now, the Head and Shoulders doesn't leave your hair feeling soft, but the Malibu CPR, it's not a bleach. It just lifts the pigment out of the hair shaft. That's all it does. It's fascinating. It works great. It will leave your hair soft and beautiful. You just need an acidic shampoo to help rinse all that pigment away. So that's why I chose Head and Shoulder, but Malibu makes an even better one, okay? I hope this helps. It's just a little quickie added. I get a lot of questions about my hair, and I really think so many of you could do your hair color at home with Demi. It's just going to be a process, or you might need to book a Zoom with Rachel to really like come down with your own recipe. But you're going to save so much money in the long run when you find out how to do this at home. And when I read her comments over on TikTok, so many women in their 50s and 60s and 70s are saying, oh my gosh, I do my hair at home with Demi now, and it literally looks like salon hair, and it really does. I mean, I can attest to that, and I've seen her before and afters of her clients on her page, so it's beautiful. So if you are a professional, I'm not trying to take any money out of your pocket. I'm not trying to guide people to do their own hair at home. People who have the money will always choose to go to a salon. This video today is for those of us who are trying to, you know, scrimp and save. I got a kid going to college in a year. I just knew I could do this at home. I just knew I could. And why spend $500 at a salon when I can do this at home myself and get even better results? And then I'm in charge of my color. There's no like surprise at the end of the appointment. I'm in control of my own color. And it works out to, you know, maybe $20-$25 a month, and that's it. Are you kidding me? Yes, I would definitely prefer that over going to a salon. So not trying to take any money out of any stylist pocket. I just know there's so many women that are already buying at-home hair color. I'm just trying to guide you to a prettier version, a safer version for your hair. And if you're stuck with that inky dark color, there is another way. It's just going to be a process, but it's worth it, I think, to take the time to get all of that, you know, decades of that inky box dye out of your hair. I think it's worth it. Unless you love that inky box dye, then do it. If you have black hair, if you do black box dye, I mean, black hair is gorgeous. There's nothing more beautiful than like blue black hair. And that's a look, like you're going for a look. But what I've seen is women who should be a level 6 brunette, maybe even a level 5, they're way in like a level 3, level 2, and they're almost like black brown, and they're too old. It's harsh looking on them, and they don't have this beautiful luster in their hair. So what I'm trying to help you with is to have still brunette hair, but softer and lustrous and more youthful looking is what I'm trying to get at, okay? I hope that helps. I'll put a few links in description today, but I don't know how much I can help you with all that. It's really gonna have to be, you're gonna have to kind of become your own guinea pig and start really looking at different examples of brunettes like you and figure out what their colors and formulas are, and then copy suit, okay? And then report back to me. I wanna hear what's working for you all, okay? That is it. I will be back Wednesday night with an Italian makeup video. Italian makeup is trending right now. That Sophia Loren look. I will do that on Wednesday. And then Saturday, I have beautiful Merit Beauty, and I can't wait to post that. It's such a beautiful look, okay? Bye for now.